it is my opinion that much of what has been done, in particular with regard to research and development, is not going to solve our problems. The situation out there in cyberspace is much too complicated. At this point in the United States, and we can throw in the United Kingdom as well, there are millions of organizations whose vital interests are at risk, not only from a malicious attack, but from design failures, from accidents, all of which basically puts their dependence on the information technologies to the point where they share the kinds of vulnerabilities that are now so widespread that it threatens their vital interests. And the research and development and the policies and the regulations or what have you, that in particular our two governments have come up with, are barely, if you like, denting the national needs of both countries. A fair amount of energy has been devoted to helping the federal governments of both countries do something, but that's a drop in the bucket compared to the millions of organizations in both countries that are at risk because of these dependencies. And my particular concerns, which I sense are shared by this center, is to try to develop, in my case in particular, but I think you're more broadly interested, national workforces that can help protect. Not all of these millions of organizations are at risk in cyberspace, but they're not all equally at risk. And in my opinion, what distinguishes those that are more at risk rather than less at risk are having employees or having the wherewithal to take advantage of some of the, if you'd like, available procedures, available technologies, tools, and what have you, to tailor them to the particular vital interests of the particular organizations, because each of these organizations is pretty much on its own out there, so that they are among the less at-risk organizations than the more at-risk organizations. This is a fairly grim view of what's out there, but it emphasizes the need for a much more extensive set of national capacities than what either of our countries has been producing over the last, well, cybersecurity, frankly, has been an issue ever since we started with networks, the ARPANET in particular in 1969. And I applaud, and I'm rooting for you guys, in spite of our own disappointing experiences over the last 30 years, to help sort of tilt the balance to developing broader national and international capacities, as your name implies, so that whole populations, large numbers, massive numbers of organizations whose vital interests are at stake can, in some sort of large sense, be safer and more secure in cyberspace than they now are.